Hi and welcome back to TEC Bike Parts. It's been a good while since I've posted any videos on Royal Enfields. More on that in a moment, what the delays have been. One of the main reasons I'm doing this video is we're going to show you how to install a camshaft on this one. But as an intro to that video, I thought I'd just talk a bit about what we've been doing in the interim. On this bike, we haven't stopped the development, contrary to what some people might have been thinking, because it's about 8 or 9 months since we put a video up on it. It was basically, we weren't sure which direction we were heading in on certain things, and we've been trying lots and lots of various setups on the bike, as well as checking out some of the manufacturers' parts on it who wanted us to sell them for them, and frankly we weren't that happy with them. So we have developed some more parts of it. You will notice the exhaust system straight away. The last time you saw this bike, it had a 2-to-1 high level pipe on. Now we haven't cancelled that completely, but the demand we've had, particularly from, because we sell a lot of bikes to parts to hot countries, was for a low 2-to-1. A couple of reasons. Obviously it doesn't get as hot. The front pipe design is nicer, we can get better performance out of it, and you can actually carry luggage on the back as well, and a passenger without any worries of burning. No matter how well you make it a high level 2-to-1, you're always going to have heat problems with it. Not so bad in Europe, Northern Europe, because it's quite nice to have a bit of heat on your leg. But anyway, this is a pre-production version of our Stinger 2-to-1. Now we've spent a lot of time developing it, getting the clearances right, the look right, and most of all the performance and the sound right on it. And that's probably taken us about 6 months to get it absolutely spot on. Now these were due to be ready in, well, about now, but obviously COVID-19 has held everything up. We're at least 2 to 3 months behind with our supply chain at the moment. We are hoping to have these at the end of June 2020. So just keep an eye on the web shop. They're very keenly priced, all stainless construction, removable baffle. We've got dyno sheets before and after, and all the way through the development process. It gives a great mid-range torque increase and a top-end power increase over the standard system. I know a lot of people like to keep the 2-to-2 front pipes, but what's really lacking on this motor is a balance pipe, and there's no easy way you can fit a balance pipe to it the way the motor's so low slung into the end of the frame. So people have come up with various different ways, but we found the 2-to-1 collector is the best way to boost torque on this motor. We've also got 40mm front pipes, which actually look smaller than the standard ones, but they're much bigger bore inside, because the standard ones are double skinned and they've only got something like, I think it's about a 34mm tube up the centre. So don't be fooled by the standard front pipes. There's also a massive weight saving over the standard system. It's something around about over 10 kilos you save in weight using this. You can actually feel it on the bike. It's so much lighter. But the biggest improvement is sound and performance. Performance-wise, we've gone up to, we started out at 44 horsepower approximately. I've got the dyno sheets anyway. We put our silencers, an air filter and a booster plug on with the standard front pipes, the Canon silencers that we do, and we eventually got up to 49 point something, which was pretty good, but we realised we're hitting a brick wall with the front pipes. So we developed this, put it on, and straight had a jump up to 53.4, something like that, brake horsepower. The next thing we're hitting the buffers against is the camshaft. Now we ordered an S&S cams and silencers as soon as they were announced about 18 months ago, and the cam looked exactly what we're going for. We normally develop our own cams, so we said, well, what's the point if S&S is bringing one out, we'll just order theirs. Problem is, it's been very frustrating because it's been over a year. We've eventually got them now, and I'm going to produce a video, which is the next one in the series, of actually installing the camshaft into this bike and showing the setup and doing before and after dyno runs. So that's basically the stage we're on with this bike. You might notice that I've actually moved the footrest mounting position. We've had them in about 10 different positions. We've been using other companies' kits to try and mount them on, none of which either looked right, felt right. Now the downside about having them in this position, it's great. You've got good ground clearance. I've actually lifted this bike for a street scrambler. It's only 20mm lift. They're absolutely fabulous a position. They're about 25mm forward and about 40mm down from standard, which is spot on for riding in a scrambler style. But you can't have them the standard front pipes. You can't get them that low. The front pipes get in the way. So they'll fit with our Stinger. We designed them so you can do it this way with the Stinger. If you want to have lower foot pegs like this with the standard front pipes, you're going to have to make a completely new hanger plate for the footrests. If we've got enough demand, we'll probably do them. But frankly, I think the best way to go is just use the different mounting plates that we've made for these, the adapter plates, which are quite cheap and simple to make, and use it with the Stinger system. Because a lot of people have been asking me about the foot pegs, trying to get them further forward and further down, because the pegs standard get right in the way of your legs, and some people find them too far back. Anyway, that's a separate video. We'll do that later. Apart from that, we've done very little cosmetic. There's lots of little tweaks we've done to it. Silly little things like raising the mudguard with some spacers, because I was getting stones trapped between the tyre and the mudguard with using the larger profile tyre. Yeah, we've sort of done some final tweaks with the lighting system and things like that. But again, we'll do other videos on that as well. So keep an eye out. We're back into video mode now. Now we've got through. We've been moving premises. That's one of the biggest problems we've had. And of course, COVID-19 hasn't helped with that as well. So, but now all that's behind us, we will be doing a lot more videos. So thanks for your patience. Another thing that we've been doing as well, because we started doing parts for these, we got absolutely bombarded by people saying, will you please start doing parts for the Himalaya? I've got a Himalaya, I love it, and can you make parts for it? So much so that I actually went out and bought one, and our plan was to develop some parts for it, which we've already got a small range of parts for it already, if you look on the web shop, but we did plan to do some sort of engine improvement on it, because 24.5 horsepower it's okay, it's quite a torquey motor, but if you want to ride it at 70 or 70 plus miles an hour on a motorway or dual carriageway, it's actually quite dangerous, because if you hit a hill or hit a headwind, it drops to about 60 or 55 miles an hour, and if you've got, you know, cars and lorries passing you at like 20 mile an hour plus, it does feel quite dangerous. You don't feel safe. So to keep up with the speed of traffic, we're looking at a power development for this motor. Now we did look at Big Ball, and frankly, after looking at the engine design, we discounted Big Ball for the cost over gain benefit of it. Now we have got something in development. I'm going to do a separate video on that. I'll do a complete separate video on the introduction to it and the little tweaks we've already done on it. So if you keep an eye out at Himalaya owners or anybody who's interested in Himalaya, it's a great little bike. I'm surprised, because I mean I normally ride this, which has got 4 times the power now. We've put a camshaft in it compared to that, but it's still quite nice to ride, strangely enough. So anyway, you know, the bikes for every bike with its purpose. So that's about it for now. Like I said, this is a teaser of some of the parts we've got coming for the Royal Enfields, and if you watch out carefully on our channel, we'll be doing the videos on the camshaft and further improvements on this bike, and a full series on everything on our thoughts and performance improvements on the Himalaya. So watch this space. Thanks now, bye bye.